Were you that kid that had a Game Boy or Game Boy Color, would bring it to school and play with your friends on break times? Yeah, that wasn't me. All I had was my Sega Mega Drive and then later my PlayStation 1. And though they are amazing consoles, there was no way to play PlayStation games on the go at the time, before the PSP. I thought the same was for Sega, but I was actually wrong. The Sega Game Gear was Sega's answer to the handheld scene, but it wasn't 16-bit, it was 8-bit, much like the Sega Master System. And honestly, a lot of Master System games were ported to the Game Gear, though they soon became the worst way to play them for certain reasons, like the screen being too small and cutting off parts of the normal screen, so things you would normally see on screen, you can't, resulting in some rather bullshit deaths, but thankfully that's not the case here. Sega also took the opportunity to attempt a racing game on the system. Sonic Drift was released in Japan only, followed by Drift 2, which was then later released in other countries as Sonic Drift Racing. These of course were then later to the console collections, Sonic Mega Collection Plus and Yem's Collection for the PlayStation 2 and GameCube, which of course I'm going to be using right here because I don't have a Game Gear. I love these collections. I'd like to have a Game Gear just for collection's sake at some point though. Let's start with Sonic Drift. You only have a few options to choose from. The Grand Prix is what you'll mainly be doing unless you're playing multiplayer. You choose between 3 different courses which can be played in any order. There are only 4 characters to choose from: Sonic, Tails, Amy, and Dr. Eggman. Every character has an ability they can use after picking up 2 to 3 rigs and then pressing up. Sonic gains a temporary boost, Tails can jump to avoid obstacles or avoid turns, Amy throws a projectile to temporarily slow down the opponent, and Eggman throws an item to halt your movement completely for a bit. You can also pick up power-ups such as speed shoes, invincibility, or the ability to jump just like Tails. Now I believe in Drift 2 you can also throw a projectile as well. There's like these black monitor type things that you can pick up. I never noticed this in the original Drift, so I'm assuming it's exclusive to Drift 2. As for the track themselves, they are actually based on Sonic 1's levels: Green Hill, Marvel, Spring Yard, Labyrinth, Starlight, and Scrap Brain. Apparently this may have been Sega's answer to Nintendo's Mario Kart, and honestly I can see that, they're very similar. Honestly, as simple as the game is, I enjoyed what I played, and as I mentioned before, if you've played Mario Kart, I can see you definitely enjoying this game, though its sequel does improve on some things. Moving on to Sonic Drift 2, already off the bat we have more characters to choose from. Knuckles! There you are! I guess he forgot his license in Sonic Drift. Who am I kidding? None of them are old enough to drive, except Eggman. Well, I mean, Knuckles technically in certain countries. Yeah. But apart from Knuckles, we also have Metal Sonic and Fang the Sniper / Knack the Weasel. Are they any different in terms of gameplay? Not really. Knuckles has the same ability as Tails. Metal Sonic is, well, Sonic clone, and Fang throws projectiles just like Eggman and Amy. Once again we have the Grand Prix with 3 different courses to choose from. This time they are based off of other classic stages from Sonic 2 and 3. Each time you win first place you are rewarded a Chaos Emerald. If you get first place in the Blue Cup course, you get 1 more race depending on your character. If you play as any good characters, you face Eggman. If you play any of the villains, you go against Sonic, while playing a short 8-bit version of the Sonic 3 boss fight. That's kinda neat. You know, the Mystic Cave in this game looks more like an actual cave as opposed to Sonic 2. Yeah, I said it. Not like anyone really cares anyway. You know, there's just one thing I can't seem to do in these games. Supposedly, if you press and hold the acceleration button when the lights turn blue, you get a speed boost. But for some reason I can't seem to quite just... Screw it. I don't need it to win anyways. Especially when the collection version gives you access to save states. What? It's not cheating if they give it to you. Right? It's nice to look back at old games, see what worked and what didn't. In some cases I think they are better than modern games, in other cases maybe not so much. Nowadays though there are much better racing game alternatives, which did eventually lead to Sonic All-Stars Racing. But before that, Sega tried their hand at a little boarding. Hoverboarding. We'll be looking at none other than Sonic Riders for the next video. Sonic Riders for the Nintendo GameCube. See you guys next time.